I want to start with you've been with Kirby on this staff, I guess, since his first season. This obviously has been a different type of off season. Have you learned anything about him that you didn't know since you all have been dealing with obviously many other issues besides football?
I wouldn't say learn anything new. I would say that we all had to deal with a lot of mental gymnastics with COVID and just the structure in your normal everyday life of going through a spring ball season, assessing your players, concluding spring, then you go into summer workouts, and into fall camp. So the biggest thing is just having to adjust our normal practice routine and all those facets.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Dell. How are you doing?
Hey, Chip, how are you?
Thanks. The beard's looking good there.
I don't know about that. It's something I grew over the quarantine and cut it off, and then I grew it right back. So we'll see if I keep it.
Almost James Harden. Yeah, just about the running backs this year. You've obviously been doing this for a long time. I'm just, where do you think this groups, have you had a transition that I guess is as significant as this? Because it seems like almost every year you've been around, there was a guy that was pretty clear he was going to be the successor. Certainly we all feel like Zeus is that guy, but it seems like more of a complete overhaul maybe than you've had. Is that true, or how do you assess what you're having to figure out to get on the field?
First off, I think we have a great room. All of our guys are very, very talented. They all bring certain qualities to the game of football. Losing DeAndre Swift was a big loss, but we definitely have 5 guys that are capable and will do a good job this year.
Hey, Dale, how are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. How much easier does it make your job knowing that, these days it seems like you don't see a lot of running backs coming in feeling like they've got to be the guy, and understand that sharing the wealth is actually a good thing as far as the future goes?
It's definitely a good thing. It's definitely a philosophy of ours. We feel like the more guys that we can play to keep our running backs fresh, they're able to be more explosive, have less mental breakdowns, and they're able to assess the game and stay involved in the game and execute at a high level when their number is called. So it definitely benefits us having a multitude of guys, and like I say, reliability and accountability is a big factor, and I feel very confident with this group.
Hey, Dell. This is a weighty issue, but it's probably something you've thought about a little bit. With the context of everything going on from the social justice movement, coronavirus, why is it important to play college football? What can you all do? What is the benefit of playing college football with everything going on?
I just feel like it brings normalcy. Football and in particular athletics in general, I think it allows everyone to move away from that space and look at and enjoy the game we all grew up loving. I think it's really, really good for our kids, being cooped up and not being able to do spring ball and just their normal routine, being able to come back and practice and have the social interaction, the everyday interaction we have with our players has been beneficial to them as well as us as coaches. It was tough sitting in the house, having to do all your sessions and meetings through via Zoom. So I think it's welcome. I think we've done a great job as a staff, medical staff, in ensuring that all our players are safe and everyone feels comfortable moving forward.
Yeah, Del. So I'm wondering, how do you go from being a DB at Auburn to a running back guru at Georgia?
First, it was a blessing for me. Actually started when I was at Auburn under Gus, allowing me to enter the college realm and off the field role. So I definitely learned a lot that season. We lost the Florida State National Championship, and moving forward from there to Georgia Southern. But being a high school coach, you have to coach almost every position and have knowledge in every position. So I feel comfortable on both sides of the ball. And I think with my defensive background, it actually helps coach the running backs and help them understand what a defense is really trying to do, and really in particular in blitz pickups and assessing different looks on where running holes and running lanes are possible.
How much, and for the follow-up on that, how important is it to have that 11-0 season on your resume when you talk with kids? Do you think it's important that they know that you played at the SEC level and accomplished what you did as a player?
I think it helps. I don't bring it up very often. A lot of the guys that are being recruited, they don't really go past the today or the near future, so they don't really look back at those things. But I do offer those experiences to the parents, and they definitely understand that. And I think it's beneficial because a lot of the kids that come into this conference, if you've been in this conference, you kind of know what you're getting ready to go through as a player on and off the field, and just giving those parents the satisfaction and the, I would say, putting their mind at ease that they're in good hands.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about having a great room, and obviously, you guys recruit so well at Georgia as far as running backs go, but who's ready to take that torch right now in your estimation? I mean, do you have anybody right now that you feel like is having a strong camp and is ready to kind of step in and take that feature back role or take a big piece of the pie?
I feel like all of our guys are putting forth great effort in the classroom as well as on the field. We definitely have two older guys in Zamir and James Cook, who's provided a lot of leadership to the room, and they bring a lot of experience. And they're definitely two guys that complement one another. And from a standpoint of understanding the offense and learning the offense the fastest, they've kind of propelled themselves in that regard. We're still in the process of developing and seeing where all the guys are going to fit, so nothing has been decided yet. But I really like our room. Like I say, dealing with COVID, everyone has to be ready to play because we never know what's going to happen. And that's my process, is making sure that all our guys are ready to run the football, protect the quarterback when their number is called.
Good afternoon, Coach.
Hey, how are you?
I wanted to ask you about readiness concerns. What kinds of concerns have you had going through the pandemic with your kids, and how is that working itself out as you ready for the season, having missed spring practice and so forth?
Like I said earlier, the biggest thing is just adjusting. We didn't have a spring, but we did have a lot of walkthroughs. We had a lot of Zoom sessions, so it was a lot of mental preparation. We did lose a lot of the physical part of it, and we're making do now. I think we're up to speed from that standpoint, and just moving forward, you never know what's going to happen with COVID amongst your team, so it's always going to be a next man up mentality for us, and it's my job as a coach to make sure everyone in my room is prepared to play at a winning level.
Hey, Dell, when you go back to your playing days at Auburn, compared to now, how much more is the pass-catching element of running backs being stressed? And do you find yourself working more in practice on pass-catching with your running backs than maybe you did when you even first got to Georgia?
Yeah, we've been doing it ever since I've been here, but it is definitely a benefit because in the next level, which all our guys aspire to be, you have to develop that part of your game if you want to be an every down running back, and it just adds value, and it adds various things to our offense as well. So the more you can do, whether it's catching the ball, running great routes, protecting the quarterback, creating yards in the running game, the better off you're going to be with us and in the future.
And how do you feel about your five right now? Do you feel that all five are pretty capable of that?
I do feel like all five are capable. Some are better than others, and that's the development part, and that goes on me, and I have to take that and develop the guys that has a shortcoming in that area.
Hey, Coach, another year, another new offensive coordinator. Without giving away state secrets, how are things maybe changing philosophy-wise under Todd? And progressing throughout the year?
First off, Coach Monken's a great offensive mind. He brings a lot of knowledge, experience. He's done it on the NFL level, college level, at a successful rate. So we're in great hands as far as that's concerned. I think we're going to be a balanced football team, and I think we're going to try to put our players in the best position to be successful, whether it's running, throwing the ball, or both. So I think that's going to be a wait and see deal.
Hey, Dell, I wanted to ask you kind of a back in the day question. When you were with Isaiah, running up to his recruiting, signing day, can you remember how, I don't want to say wild that was, but sort of complex that was? And what are your memories about that time at Carver?
It was definitely a time where he was considered one of the best backs in the country. Every college was pursuing his services. He was definitely a special talent. Unfortunately, things didn't work out here, but I think he still proved that he was a NFL quality player despite the shortcomings here at the University of Georgia. And, I still talk to him to this day, and he's doing well, has a son of his own. So very proud of having coached Isaiah along with all the other guys I've coached there at Carver.
Do you think, Dell, do you think that recruiting has changed a lot in that time? I mean, you're recruiting guys like Isaiah now. What's the difference between now and then? Is there more attention now?
I think there is, just because of the social media piece has increased and kind of sped up things. We get a large quantity of film and suggestions from coaches, services through social media, and I think kids promote themselves a lot more through social media, and they can get in contact with us via that route as well. So it's definitely sped up the process and created us as coaches to evaluate kids at an earlier rate.
Hey, Coach. When we talked to Coach Monken last week or whenever it was, he mentioned something about maximizing the offensive players' skill sets. How do you see that working out with the running backs you have, especially when you've got guys who seem to have different skill sets, like Zamir and James, for example?
Just like he said, I mean, every running back and every player on our offense has a stronger quality than others, and it's up to us as coaches to put those guys in the most successful position where we can be successful as a team, and at the same token, making sure we play at a high level, high standard, not turn the ball over, and play clean football. So just moving forward, I think we will use those guys in the correct manner. And like I say, if they have a deficit, it's up to me to bring that deficit up to speed.
As a follow-up to that, do you sort of envision a lot of having two of those running backs on the field at the same time going forward this year?
I mean, anything's possible. That falls on Coach Monken's shoulders, and I'm sure whatever plan we come up from week to week, it'll be a great plan.
Question.
Yes. Hey, Coach.
Hey.
So as opposed to previous off seasons, how have you seen the running back group starting this season healthy set a different tone so far? And how do you think this will make an overall difference moving forward?
I mean, for one, we are recognized as RBU. I think with that being said, it's a very, very high standard in our room, which was established long before myself being here. So our kids kind of take that personally, and they show it every single day in the way they prepare and practice. So, and we always try to, as coaches, try to make practice a lot harder than games. And if you can make it through our practice day in and day out, I mean, you're going to be really prepared for a game. Just more so from a vocal standpoint, they're taking more of a leadership role with our younger guys. They're kind of mimicking what they got when they were freshmen, when Swift and Elijah Holyfield were the older guys in the room. So they're kind of taking the young guys under their wing, showing them how to take care of their bodies, how to prepare and be the best you can be the next day, as far as film studies concerned, just all the little tidbits and how to be successful on an everyday basis. And I think they also provide help to our young guys and going to class and not being a list guy and just being an overall really, really good student athlete.
Dale, this is Chip. I know your time was very successful there at Carver. You've been to Auburn, you've been to Georgia for a long time, and promoted several times and proved you could recruit and do all those kind of things. Do you have aspirations to be a head coach at some point? And have you had any opportunities since you've been here that you've passed over?
I definitely have aspirations to be a head coach, and but right now my whole focus is on doing the best job I can here at the University of Georgia this season, and kind of let things fall as they may when those times and opportunities present themselves. But I'm totally happy being the running back coach at Georgia. I feel like I have the best running back job in the country, and like I say, we got a high standard, and our guys are going to live up to that standard.
Dell, this is Mike Griffith. I wanted to ask, just doing the interview today, in the past, Kirby's kind of limited it to the coordinators at the beginning of the season only. And I'm sure I speak for everyone when I say how much we appreciate hearing from you. But how much of this also do you think is being able to put yourself out in front of potential recruits now that recruiting is pretty much limited to the Zoom and the in-person recruits have kind of, I would say, maybe hampered some schools?
I definitely think the in-person recruiting has been hampered. It's definitely tough to recruit via Zoom and not being able to interact with the parents and the kids on a in-person level. So they do get a chance to see me as a coach through a different lens. But at the end of the day, it's all about relationships, and we have to adjust, and every college in America has had to adjust to COVID and recruiting under these circumstances without the student athlete and their parents being on campus and being able to interact in person.
Dale, this is Anthony Dale. I was wondering if you just kind of just speak to the work that Zamir has put in over the last year to come back from the 2 ACL surgeries, and just what kind of inspirations he's been not only to you but the rest of the players.
I mean, first off, Zamir's a great kid. Had some tough upbringings throughout his life, and he's been an overcomer, and that's the expectation. He's never down. He's always very upbeat, and like I say, his hard work has been recognized by his peers as along with the coaching staff. So just much love for Zamir and the way he's embraced 2 knee injuries. That's a very tough feat to overcome, but he's a spiritual person and has all the faith in the world in our training staff, and he has faith in himself as well. So expecting a lot of big things out of him this year.
Dale, when it comes to these, with the assistant coach stuff, I mean, obviously Todd Monken is the guy everybody wants to talk about, new offensive coordinator, but you got Matt Luke there as well, and you've actually had a chance to prepare for a game with Matt Luke. What kind of new ideas has he brought as far as expertise as offensive line, and even being a coordinator and a head coach, and kind of what newness has he brought to the table since coming?
Coach Luke's a great man. He brings a lot of energy. I think his players and along with our other teammates respect him. I think all of the coaches have brought great ideas in all facets of our offense, and I think that Coach Monken has done a great job of implementing those ideas, and I think we're going to have a great plan every Saturday when we hit the field of being successful.
Cal, I want to ask you.
Of course. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was going to ask you, is Kendall Milton dealing with a hamstring? How long might he be sidelined? And with Edwards, what was it about him that you guys wanted him to come to Georgia, and add him to this class?
I misunderstood your question. Say it one more time.
Which part? Both of it?
I didn't. You said Dejon and you said Kendall. I didn't.
Yeah, no, I was trying to get them both in. With Kendall, is he dealing with a hamstring? How long might he be out?
No, he's not out. He's just he's been doing everything. He's just been far as the development of just making sure we get the correct reps in. He has missed certain parts of practice.
Okay, and I was asking about Edwards. You guys adding him to this class. What was it about him that you thought could fill a void?
First, he was a great high school running back. Started for 4 years in the toughest division in Georgia, and he was very productive at Colquitt County. So he brings that hard-nosed mentality. He can catch the football. He can run in between the tackles. Has enough speed and burst to make explosive plays. So love everything about Dejan and his work ethic.
Considering the running backs and the O-line work kind of hand in hand with some of those big fellas not there anymore, how does the O-line look opening up the holes for you guys so far?
I think our O-line will be fine. I think we're all a work in progress at every position, and that's what camp is for, and that's what we're gearing our efforts towards. And as we progress closer to our opening game and kind of scaling everything back, I see us being a very good offense.
Got time for two more questions. Looking back on the Sugar Bowl, do you think there's anything that Zamir, James, and Kenny picked up preparing for that game without DeAndre being as big of a factor and Harrion being there?
Like I said, our guys prepare each and every week like they're the guy, and that's the expectation. So preparation in the Sugar Bowl wasn't any different than preparation for any other game. So the only thing is their opportunity came, and they actually showed exactly why they're here. And like I said, I love my room, I love my guys, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with this year.
Dale, twice during your time at Georgia, you've had two different running backs finish the season with more than 1,000 yards rushing apiece. I think it was 2017 and 2018. Is that kind of the expectation for James and Samir this year, since it seems likely they'll share the majority of the carries in the backfield?
Expectations not about statistics for me. It's just more so about wins and losses and how we can be successful, limit our mental errors, and making sure we protect our quarterback and take care of the football. As long as we do those things, the individual accolades will come. And if that happens, it happens. But that's not the big picture of things. It's more so taking care of the football, protecting our quarterback, and playing with great effort.
Thank you.